Welcome everyone to the DDMC comedy stream, where comedy is optional and guests are organized less than 10 hours in advance. How is everyone?
I'm doing well.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Read reviews.
Yep, today we've got a four-man show for you. Well, we're trying to have a four-man show at least. We've got our usual guest host, Tormuse. We've got Hanaka, who's replacing Kronos today because he's having some transportation issues. And we have our special guest today, MacDaddyMatty, coming on the show today, but having some recording setup issues. So we'll hear his wonderful voice a little bit later on.
His dulcet tones, I think he put it.
Dulcet tones, as he puts it.
Dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones.
I'm laughing because I just saw the image for the comments.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, he says he can hear us now. That's good. Not broadcasting. So we've got half of him here, but not the rest.
What
so
is
we'll
a
work
mutt?
on that.
What is a mutt?
It's kind of a dog. It's like a mixed breed dog.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why is dog
but-
not
but-
broadcasting?
I think it was a typo.
Nice fact drop there. I like it. Right. Well, it's the 20th episode of this comedy stream, airing on the 27th or 28th of April 2019, depending on what part of the world you're listening to. And there's no sponsor today because I literally didn't have time to write one up. But let's say we're sponsored by Rode. Rode, get a decent mic.
Road.
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
Sure.
Done deal. Coming up in the show today, very special announcement. I never thought we'd see the day, but guess what? Tormuse finished Purist mod.
Finally!
Finally,
That cat finally got the time to get out of work and freaking finish that mod.
Amazing. Truly an achievement of mankind. I didn't think that thing was ever going to be finished, if I'm honest.
Tormuse, based on you being the first staff member to finish Purist mod, what do you feel about this big accomplishment that you have made in DDMC history?
Let's see. How should I put this? I believe in the idea that it's possible to enjoy any piece of media if you go in with the right expectations. Whether you're talking about like a movie or a book or a video game or a game mod. And I think maybe I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have because my expectations were high. Because I've heard it talked up before.
MattyD.
Hey, welcome.
There he is.
I heard a goat.
Can you guys hear me?
Here's
Yes.
our guest,
I can hear you.
Holy shit, Margaret!
MattyD.
Holy shit! I told you, fuckers. I wanted to do.
Logo,
No.
why did you invite
The
this
first
guy?
thing I said
The first thing
was, "Let's not fuck with my settings."
Yeah, that's a very good point to make now.
Nice.
Anyway, here's
Why did you mess around with them?
God damn it!
here's MattyD. Welcome to the show.
I had to put my pants on and everything.
You're funny.
TMI, right?
Funny
next
you say
topic.
that. Funny you say that because your image it wasn't actually transparent, and I had to cut out the black background color. Unfortunately, it has made your pants transparent. So technically, on stream, you're currently not wearing any.
Jesus Christ, put some pants on, for Christ's sake. It's like going to like freaking England where Barcelona versus something in the soccer field, and like everyone there is just naked. Bottom.
No. It's, you're not doing the stereotype right. It's always Manchester United.
Manchester United versus Barcelona.
That's it. Okay, so yeah, we before we interrupted, we were
Purple
talking about.
popcorn. Let me ask. Purple popcorn just said that he. Odd. What did he finish? What pass did he finish?
Oh, we were talking about the Purist mod.
Purist mod.
Came in. Yeah, I was starting to talk about.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were doing an interview with Tormuse.
That's it. So yeah, let's continue with the perhaps the one person on the planet that actually finished Purist mod.
Oh,
Yes.
that
So
far.
the first person out of whatever million people of the DDLC community who plays mods, he's the first one to finish Purist mod.
Oh, you're exaggerating.
No, we're not over exaggerating.
But,
It's the truth. We don't care about Spaghetto or anyone else. We only care about is who finished it first.
Anyway, expectations, as I was saying before, expectations were high going into it because I've heard it talked up before. Being this great, like normal visual novel, kind of deal. Bring back the whole dating simulator aspect of it, plus it had a fairly long development time. Like it was in development for like almost a year, I think. It was like something like 8 months or something like that. And had a sizable team working on it. So expectations were high going in. So I guess I feel kind of let down by it. Like it wasn't. It had a number of issues. There were some good things, but I feel like the good things got lost in the middle of the bad things. For one thing, like I mentioned in previous streams, for one thing, it's too long. Like I really feel like they emphasized quantity over quality, as I said. Like someone in the design team just decided it should the longer it is the better or whatever, so they put in some blatant padding, not only are there a lot of sections which are repetitive, but they put really an unnecessary level of detail in like really mundane things, like one scene in particular, like I screenshotted it, like it's just this is MC going out on a date with Monica. They're getting ready to go. It says, "I grab my bag with all the things I need for today in it, along with my keys. Then put on my shoes. I head out the door, close it behind me, then lock it before putting the keys in my bag." And it's like 3 lines of stuff there, which could have you could have just said, "We go out." Like you could.
I spent the rest of the entire mod wondering, oh, his shoes are so fucked.
Yeah, like come on. Just reading that description sounds like literally you're just writing a book about yourself, saying, "I grabbed a piece of banana. I grabbed a backpack. I walked out I opened the door. I walked outside. I closed the door. I locked the keys. I walked to my car, and etc."
Yeah, like I said, it could have just written "we go out," or it could have even just left it out altogether and just had a scene change.
Yeah, like no one wants to hear about the life of an MC, especially an MC that everyone considers to be a douche.
Like what I'm trying to get is like what we want here. Like what would be more interesting? Like we want to see the interactions between the characters. We want to see the interactions between like MC and the Dokis, and because the thing, like the bottom line, I think, for any like work of fiction, any piece of media, whatever, is it should make the audience feel something. Like that goes like for all genres. Like if it's a comedy, it should make them laugh. If it's like horror, it should scare you. If it's drama, maybe it makes you cry. If it's written well. But stuff like this is just boring, mundane stuff, and it just I feel like it takes away from the mod. And there are long sections like this could, and I think should, be cut out of the mod because it's just boring to wade through. And
either cut it out or just push it to as one line. Like, I grab the stuff I need and walk out the door. That is a simple one line that they could have used.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things here. When you're talking about writing, there is some padding that needs to happen because there is some connection in the slice of life. However, the guy that got me into doing videos at all is the zero punctuation reviews.
Oh, nice.
And very often he'll say, is this the most important part of this character's life? And if not, why the hell aren't you showing me that? And there is a lot of kind of twiddling our thumbs going on in this mod.
Like, I haven't played it, to be honest, but as far as I've been hearing about all
then
the
let's spoil it for
around
you.
Yeah, go ahead, spoil it for me, just because because Purist will never be a mod night because no one votes for it.
Ouch.
I feel like there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
Probably because Mod Night would be nothing but Purist mod for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, like Purist mod, part 12. Like, Jesus Christ, just end this already.
And suddenly you're PewDiePie and you're 100 episodes in.
Yes, Mod Night episode 100, Purist mod finale. like people are just like, come on, Hanaka, just get rid of the dang mod already.
That's it.
Yeah, like, come on, Hanaka. Please, end this misery. End the misery of yourself and end the misery of all of us. Like, I feel bad for, like, any other YouTube Let's Players who had to play a bunch of parts of that mod. Like, Spaghetto, Matty, and a couple of others. Like, I feel bad for you guys for playing, like, 8 parts of Purist mod.
Yeah, but I'm not the guy that you want to look at for, for stuff like that, because Purist mod was my very first mod after Doki Doki Literature Club, which was my very first visual novel. I found the Sayori route very healing, personally. I discovered stuff about Natsuki that I really didn't like her character in canon, and after Purist, I liked her character, although there was some real issues with the storyline. So I may not be the best guy to point out for that.
Yeah, but either way, you're still a YouTube Let's Player. You literally have to spend forever on that mod. Like, Jesus Christ, I know they really wanted the whole, this is the longest mod ever, but literally, come on, guys. That's just to go overboard with that one achievement. Like, seriously, guys? Are you
to
high
be the devil's
or something?
advocate? Let me be the devil's advocate and a little bit of a douchebag by saying, how many mods have you played where you're like, ah, shit, I wish there was more of that? This one, you didn't have that.
Actually,
Like,
yeah,
literally,
I've
I
heard
have
that before.
played a bunch of mods, and a lot of them feel more complete. Like, apart from Salvation, which I talked about like last week with my side of comedy stream, which Logo hasn't showcased yet. Thanks, Logo.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Everything
later
else
too.
went more properly to plan of an ending, like saying, okay, that's a good way to wrap up the mod. I think the only mod that I felt like it should have expanded more was the first mod night, which was We Are the Literature Club part, the first one, not the second one. But yeah, like the whole overachievement of just, we want to make a regular visual novel that is literally a bunch of hour playthrough of one route that you can replay multiple, like 4 times. So you play one route blind, then you play a second route with the same route but perfect, play it again with the third route with a different character, fourth, and like whatever plays, just to get a perfect ending. Like, come on, guys, like at least you can have reasonably did it in like 4 to 6 hours. Heck, 7 hours would be fine, or 8, like a whole school day would have been fine. But like the 11 to 12 hours, like literally half of a day, nah, that's just way too overkill. Just to, oh, we finally hit the 12-hour barrier, now we're done with this route. Like, it kind of feels like that way with like all the grammar stuff and people that I keep hearing, like, feel like, oh, we only care is write a good story, but we might leave some errors in, and just hit the 12-hour timer, like, okay, we're done, we're now moving up to the next slope. Like, to be honest, I feel like I'm the biggest criticizer of DDLC mods than even freaking Astra. And Astra freaking bombs every single mod, like, Natsuki mod, 0 out of 10. And I literally go freaking in debt. Better than that guy.
I do remember that. He was,
yeah,
he was
like
very critical of a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even give a shite about whatever he crap he fucking says, to be honest. And that's coming from me. He can go himself.
Whoa,
Oh, very
Well,
angry
yeah.
in here.
Yeah. Oh, what an aggressive.
Let's not go off.
Yeah.
Let's just.
But either way, like, I just feel
Not
that's
that tough.
comparing. Yeah. But either way.
It is feeling a bit angry here. Maybe we should talk about something a little more pleasant.
Let me ask you this though, before we leave Purist, what was your favorite route and why?
For me, I liked the Yuri route the best because, well, I mean, I'm a little biased because Yuri's my favorite Doki. But besides that, it had I felt like it had a more coherent plot. Like there was a very clear conflict, and it got resolved and had a happy ending. You know, and it was for also it was shorter than the other routes, which really worked in its favor in my opinion. It felt like it was less padded than the others, so I felt like it it got its job done, and I just liked it better for those reasons. I'm not saying it's free from any problems. Like I feel like each of the 4 routes has its own set of problems, but like a different set of problems each. But yeah, I ranked I ranked Yuri's the highest, I think, followed by
Dead to me.
I guess. Yeah, I know you didn't
dead
like
to
the
me.
Yuri route. Yeah, Matty didn't like the Yuri route.
I love Yuri. Yuri is awesome.
Yuri.
Hey,
So
don't you talk shit about my waifu now?
Your wife would say Hanaka, you dumbass.
No.
Yeah, it is. You keep talking about her every single time in the mod chat.
You
There's
can
always
have multiple
one. Say
waifus.
Hanaka coming
Yeah, I
out.
can-
Come on.
yeah,
Say Hanaka's my babe and everything.
Yeah, but she's the unofficial one. I have
The unofficial.
officially
It's
on
the
record.
waifu on the side.
I'm legally obligated to say it's Yuri, okay? Besides, Sayonaka can be a bit of a bipolar bitch. As you might have noticed.
Sayonaka has Alzheimer's.
No, she doesn't have Alzheimer's. She just has incredible mood swings, as we have learned recently. You know, it's the sort of ass you tap, but you don't want to live with.
Yeah, like I can't I'm pretty honest. If we put Sayonaka in canon DDLC, she will like literally wreck even the canon storyline. Like, oh, this said that, and she's like literally breaks Monica. Like, I cannot even break the own game with this son of a bitch.
All right, we went really off topic there for a moment. I want to bring it back in
Indeed.
a little bit. There's a question here from chat who Ultra Biscuit 421 asks, do you want longer mods or more quality mods? Which is a good question because I feel like Purist mod just literally went, well, all the good visual novels are like 80 hours of content, so we better make sure we have at least that much. And
I
that
prefer
was
quantity.
that was
Quality.
that was the downfall, I think.
Yeah, like Purist mod, I feel like they were just overachieving their like 11 to 12 hour goal for everything for the whole entire thing. Like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, I definitely would rate quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Personally, like my favorite mod is Dokis and Dragons, which is a short mod, but it does its job. It's very it's very concise and it works. Like every bit of it fits together well, and found it to be really enjoyable.
And you can't have nothing bad with just Doki playing a board game.
Yeah, like a very unique one, that one. What about you, Matt? You've played a lot, probably about as much as Tormuse, I'm guessing. Have you seen a trend of quality over quantity on these things?
I'm going to be a dick and say that I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think that quality, you can have real short quality mods like Dokis and Dragons, or you can have a very long quality mod or visual novel. Then again, you can have a lot of quantity. So I guess it's a pet peeve of mine where I don't look at that as you can have both in both. You can have bad quality and a lot of it, or you can have great quality and a little of it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's entirely possible if you've got the right team for it. I definitely know that.
In defense of Purist mod, because we have been basically just kicking the crap out of it. In defense of Purist mod,
Poor Ninja.
every route was unique. Every story was unique. I mean, I played a lot of good mods where they're very similar stories, but the characters, the way they behave changes that story. It's the same scenario. The characters' interactions in that scenario change how things happen. In Purist, everything was very, very unique. The stories were pretty coherent. They had some plot holes, they had some issues, but I think that if you can put out a Purist, if you can put out a Monica Before story, you can hold your head up high. I don't think there's any shame to that at all.
Okay, well, that's a fair point to make. They definitely did
Because you're working with people who are working for free, and you managed to herd those cats to the finish line. God bless you.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true, and you're probably very correct in that. Each of those routes was very unique in its own right. I just feel like, as far as everyone's concerned, it seemed like they dragged on for too long.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone said, like everyone just feels like, oh, I wanted just wanted more or stuff.
And like Purple says, it's hard to maintain a consistent quality over a long period of time, which is very evident in a lot of projects, both mods and actual games.
See, Logos mod as a good example of that.
You're writing a story. If everything is at 10, there's nowhere to go. So you have to have lulls. You have to have places where the audience gets lulled so that you can pull the rug out from under them, so you can surprise them, so that you can take them and move their emotions around. If everything is a roller coaster, but it's a roller coaster, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, I think that's about enough of Purist mod then. Let's move on to the next topic, which is let's just have our guests talk about what they've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Take it away, MattyD.
So that's a great question. Did everybody hear that question? Okay, good. Anybody else got any questions?
To be honest, for purists, which is the longest route out of every single route?
I think that Monica's felt the longest.
No, that's
I don't know. Tormuse?
I don't know. I don't know. Natsuki, Sayori, Monica, they all had pretty long routes. Yuri's was easily the shortest. I don't know.
Complete routes. There's some things that if you close your eyes a couple of times, you're going to get through them and really enjoy it. If you let that suspension of disbelief really take over and you don't go, hey, wait a minute, what about this? Then you'll be fine. Then finished it. Play your favorite Doki, get to the end, and then if you enjoyed it enough, play your next favorite Doki.
Or just leave it at that, like the majority of people do. I do want to add, not for purists, but...
Sorry to cut you off there, Hanaka. Logo did ask MattyD, like, what have you been up to?
Oh God! So I've been working on Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For, the video for that, and something happened in my audio, and it's if I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently there's something called harsh S's. Ch's are really grating, and if you're doing a 2-minute video, it's not a big deal, but I do long fucking ass videos, and listener fatigue is a really big deal. I actually have had 2 professional audio technicians the audio for Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For, which if you haven't played that game, it's good God, oh my God, fucking crushed me, broke me in half. I hated the game, and then I finished it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest game ever! Last week has been getting halfway through that video. Pause, and yesterday and today, I wrote the script and finished the Hanaka Clearinghouse video, which, as soon as Hanaka gives the thumbs up, will be released. And that's got some funny bits in it. I got a lot of voice actors for that one.
Yeah, I know for a fact what's going on with that one with Enra and all of that. I do wonder, how did he get into DDLC entirely, and then get into like DDLC modding, and then making Let's Plays of DDLC mods?
I lost a bet.
You lost a bet.
I lost a bet. So
what game? So what game did you lose this?
So MacDaddyMatty is a World of Tanks player, and if you've dug deep into my my YouTube, you'll find these World of Tank videos that are, I'm not talking at all. It's basically some gameplay back to back. It's all that level 9, level 10 back and forth for about 3-4 minutes, and then it's over. And I throw a song on top of it. And then listening to one of the zero punctuation videos on Doki Doki Literature Club, and got to the point where he said spoilers. Whenever he says spoilers, I stop the video because I never know if I'm going to play it. And I mentioned it to one of my buddies on World of Tanks, who is a super weeaboo in a super weeaboo clan. All right, the clan's called Mahoo. Okay, super weeaboos. They've got on their tanks, that type of thing. So I was in a tournament, and we were talking crap at each other, and he said, listen, beat you have to play this game. And I was like, all right, fine. And he just destroyed me. So I was like, fuck, I gotta play this game. And I'm playing it, and I'm like, you know what, this is super cute. I'm really enjoying this. And then
get face palmed.
Holy shit, I got fucking broken in half, and I was like, my. Because I had no idea.
This is not cutie. Why is this girl like this?
And then it kept going on. It was like it was the brilliance of it. I'm a trained tactician. I'm a trained statistician. I know how to do like all kinds of really crazy shit. And what this did to my mind, the way it played with me, was just brilliant. And right then I fell in love with it. And I was a big puddle. I was a mess. And I went to Reddit, and they were like, yeah, play Purist mod. Because I needed that healing. And I was like, wow, there's a lot to this. And then I just started playing mods. Somebody recommended Katawa Sojo, started playing that. See, basically everything I've played has been a recommendation, which is why I'm always if something really touched you, let me know about it, because that's what I want to do a video on.
And now you're a weeb.
And I am a zero to weeb in 2 hours. Thank you, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Fantastic, isn't it? A lot of people get into this genre just completely unexpectedly because they play DDLC, and suddenly they're like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to roll with it now.
I've got a t-shirt now that says happy waifu, happy laifu.
Oh god.
Oh god. That's way worse than me actually playing DDLC at school.
Oh man.
No, the teachers are literally fine with me playing DDLC at school. They call it an actual healing aid.
A healing aid?
Yes. Apparently a healing aid for my anger.
Oh, okay.
Keep playing.
Replaces the anger with another emotion. Another negative emotion.
Now it's Ruby and DDLC. Speaking of that, when is that Ruby mod coming out?
Wasn't there supposed to be a Ruby mod for DDLC at some stage? I never heard about it.
It wasn't planning, but
it's listed on the list. I think it's I think it's still in development. I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. I mean, I haven't even seen sprites, which I have to admit, Ruby sprites in the DDLC style, I think would actually look pretty good.
Yes, but then I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And Yaga charging me 30 will literally break my dad's bank account. Like, I already broke $90 for Cirque.
Alright, well, let's move on to the next topic, I guess, which, does anyone have anything to bring to the table today?
We are the Literature Club 2.
Yes, let's talk about that, absolutely. So, for those of you that don't know, the Mod Night that was featured just a few hours before this show and hosted by Hanaka was playing the We Are the Literature Club 2 mod. Why don't you tell us about it? That's your
Okay,
cue.
so before you tell us about it, Mac hasn't played We Are the Literature Club 1 yet, or 2 yet.
Okay, so we'll try and
I can
keep
go-
it
I can go-
spoiler
I can
free,
go
I guess.
No. Let's
Just wanna
avoid spoilers.
Ping me back.
Yeah, let's keep it a bit spoiler free, but
TLDR, it's Red Dead Redemption 2.
That would be awesome.
I mean, that's
No more fucking fetch quests for me.
yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
How did your
So,
actual
just
mod
to-
night go?
Well, it's good, pretty good. No more interruptions, finally. But so far, the storyline is interesting. I think I'm at the end. I'm not sure because I remember when I did We Are the Literature Club 1. The next day, I've finished it off for half an hour for mod night.
Okay.
I'm thinking this might be it again, but so far the story is going okay. There was a couple of parts that I find it a bit cliche and a bit why? Mainly with MC. There's this point where Monica does all this sorts of stuff, then it all goes out of rails, not as planned, and then MC's questioning her and she's don't doubt me. Dude, at this point you should technically ditch her. At this point, if you don't think that she's doing what you think she should be doing, just ditch her already. Just take whatever the people you want with you and leave. And they're all doing this for this one currency that's in this game, which really face palms me. Because in this part, she said a line "Oh come on, Monica! I could literally rob us Bay with over that much of your own currency in diamonds or gold. Go to Pawn Stars in Las Vegas and pawn it for $2 million. That's more worth it than what your currency is. Come on! I'll cash if I was able to cash in your literature. I would got $2,000. Or less, $200. Come on, Mike.
Can I suggest? How about we get a basic outline of what's the story about? At a more basic level, what's happening? What's
Pretty much just to in Act 1 or Chapter 1 of the mod is pretty much technically supposed to be the start of Red Dead Redemption 2. I have not played that game. So rip spoilers for RDR2 for me, but it's supposed to start in in winter, and that the literature club is on the run against the counselors of the school over the debate club, because technically the debate club and the literature club have this whole family feud or club feud with each other. Now trying to get the most of the currency that's in the mod as possible just to roll to school. So that's the plan. And what Monica does is we have to keep moving, we have to do this job and this job, and Yuri, for the love of God, is so clumsy. She's way clumsier than freaking Sayori, that she gets captured 2 to 3 times by the freaking counselors. Come on, Yuri, you're supposed to be the intelligent one here, not the dummy. That's Sayori.
I'm not sure how to feel about the fact that you actually weren't kidding about the Red Dead parallels there.
Yeah, it took me a few minutes to realize that there was an actual connection.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I
literal
thought that was a
mod.
joke, but as it turns
No.
out, no, it is the exact same plot.
To be honest, like if I play Red Dead Redemption 2, I'll open like this is like a Red Dead Redemption 2 clone, but in DDLC, and instead of like grown ass men shooting stuff, you have freaking literature club members throwing papers at each other and counting it as bullets, and your pens are literally freaking revolvers. Like, come on.
So, is this franchise, like let's call it, the like an episodic thing, or are they sort of unique and individual
A
things?
spin-off of the original.
I
Like
see.
it's supposed to be like a unofficial sequel to WATLC 1.
Okay, just so
Technically, and
everyone,
it doesn't have
just so
and
everyone
it
knows
doesn't
as
relate
well.
to WATLC 1 whatsoever.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
don't worry. So don't worry if you guys say WATLC 2 is gonna have spoilers for the first one. Nope, that is out the way. Out the
Okay.
book.
At
We
least it's
should-
got a nice acronym, I guess.
Mhm.
He brought up something that actually is constantly me being gaijin to the visual novel world. The only one who is just constantly frustrated at what a tool bag main character is.
Mm.
It's me.
Half of the times I'm given a choice, and the choices are so few and far between. I'm given a choice, and I'm like, he's gonna fuck it up. I can't choose the one that I want to choose because he's not gonna approach it the way that, you know, this is
You
the right
expect
choice.
it.
If you approach it this way, I know he's gonna fuck it up. So I've got to choose the wrong fucking choice because I know that's.
I think
correct one for the
that's
story.
probably why there's a lot of people who decide to make a mod, because they were like, there's no way, I do not accept this main character being this bone fucking stupid.
Or they just like, let's make him worse.
Yeah.
Like Maddie, like if you play my mod, which you don't actually because it's crap right now, you will not think that way.
Now I gotta.
No, my mod is shite.
I
It has
gotta
Maddie.
do it now. Just as a side note, by the way, the original We Are the Literature Club did win first place for best light-hearted mod.
And won the first mod night.
And did win the first mod night as well. Yes, that's right. The author is definitely doing something right there. So if you
Well,
want to
technically,
check
the
them out,
second one is made by a different person.
oh, was it?
The same team, but made by a different person. Super Pepsi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the original was actually created by Pat Wolf.
Yeah, Pat made the first one, and Pepsi made the second one,
Right.
which was a spin-off with RDR2.
Okay.
So pretty much, Doki's go on a run over because the debate club have this club feud that took over the whole entire school, where the school starts to lock down and stuff. They try to escape and they leave their belongings, which is important to them, behind in the club, and they're trying to go out the run and pretty much be Red Dead Redemption 2 and like do a couple of heists and all that, and jobs trying to getting Yuri back. Sayori for some reason just like goes rogue after like, according to the mod, like a year. Then comes back and MC's like, oh my god, she's fucking back. And then all this and that, like I find the plot interesting because it's sort of a bit Red Dead Redemption 2 as what I saw, but I don't feel like, sometimes I was like, Monica, like, I know I love you, but the choices that you're doing, those are wrong. Like, now I'm thinking my waifu is doing something wrong out of everyone, and MC's like, oh my god, can't she just do something right? Like, I know he hates me, but come on, Monica's being a way douche than what I am, even though I am still freaking douche.
Well, We Are the Literature Club 2, everyone. We're checking out, as it turns out. What else is on the agenda today? Now that you finished Purist mod, Tormuse, what's next?
Salvation.
Yeah, I'm actually halfway through Salvation. because Hanaka and I conducted an interview of 12 Giz, the author of that, the other day. We pre-recorded it. I'm not sure what's the plan for when is that going to be broadcast? Or
I think we'll broadcast it here on this channel sometime next week, probably on a weekend as well, just to keep things semi-reasonable. But yeah, because there's no show next week, then we'll just play it that day. Similar hours, I think. Maybe no, actually, yeah, because I can set it up with Twitch. We'll play it at the same time as the regular stream, but obviously the stream is bi-weekly, so we'll play the recording next week when there's nothing airing. So I look forward to that coming up next week, Sunday, Saturday, depending on where you're from.
Also, Logo, what's the rating of that stream?
What, like my personal rating of how that went?
Yes.
I think Giz had a lot of insight, and you did an okay job hosting it.
Well, woo,
yeah,
we're okay.
Yeah, because Logo hates criticism.
Yeah, because you guys kept ragging on me and my lack of jokes, apparently, which is totally untrue. We've been laughing for at least half of this show.
Yeah, right. Like, you're the only one laughing at your own jokes.
That is not true.
Yeah, because Torm has to laugh or else he gets docked his own daily pay.
I don't pay
I'm
him,
laughing
though.
at my own jokes, so
You
Yeah,
don't even pay us. You don't even pay Kronos. And you owe him money.
to be fair, Kronos does make more jokes than I do.
Yeah. That's why I was hoping Kronos will be here, because he was the one who always makes good jokes compared to you.
Wow. This is why
Yeah,
I
because
don't...
you're always still...
This is why
Yeah,
you're
because
never
you're
on the
always still
show.
as a fish.
This is why you're never on the show. You keep ragging on
you
me
need
all
to
the
play
time.
more DDLC at school, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You need to go on the comedy club.
Comedy club. We're on the comedy strum.
All right. So what should we talk about? We've been going now for about 3/4 of an hour. You've still got a bit more runtime to fill in. Does anyone else have anything to put on the table for a discussion?
I could vent, or we could pull from the audience.
We could maybe pull from the audience. We haven't done that in a while. What sort of topics does the chat have for us?
While they're doing that, let me just say this. My biggest problem right now is that I spend way fucking too much time on these videos and I don't play enough and games. Which actually, back to World of Tanks, I'm in a clan and we're doing clan wars right now, and I have been AWOL the whole time because I've been either playing virtual novels or I have been so I am completely corrupted, and those guys hate you for this. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Wow. They would be haters.
But yeah, I mean, in fact, maybe I'll get this video done in a week. 3 weeks later, I'm still working on it, so I feel for those modders. But I kind of, I want to throw the olive branch out. A lot of work to let me be entertained for free. Some of that entertainment is awesome, and some of that entertainment is just me getting my panties in a twist. You do a lot of
He
work,
does better jokes.
and I appreciate it, and that's why I do the videos. Really? Maybe 100 people? I've got 100 subscribers, so I'm not looking to PewDiePie this medium by all means, but owe it back to the people that the experiences that I've had. And I should probably stop drinking and shut up for a little bit.
Hey, what are you even drinking? Beer?
I'm actually drinking Italian cognac right now.
Ooh, I love that.
Nice.
Tuaca, it's good stuff.
It's
It's a type of wine.
it's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
I just want to add on to to what Maddie's saying, that as much as it probably sounds like I'm complaining a lot on here, but I do appreciate or to try to appreciate. No, I do appreciate the work that people do in the community, and like if I complain about something, it's because I want to improve, and because at the end of the day, this is a hobby that we're doing for free. All the people in the DDLC modding committee are like they're doing this for fun, for free, in their free time, and I want to do what I can to encourage that creative spirit and keep it fun. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying. Just trying to. I just want to say something that isn't quite as negative as I've been so far this stream.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like
let's get some positivity back in here. We've been so cruel.
But it's so fun. I'm sorry.
It is fun. It is fun to rag on
it's therapeutic to complain.
Come on, about is asking for summertime.
I'm between 7 and 10 mod teams right now, and I say that because I don't know which ones have been canceled and which ones are still actually working. For those of you that only know me here, probably know the videos. From those of you that only know me from Reddit, only know that I do backgrounds, which a lot of people like and a lot of people really don't like. And so I just wanted to kind of, earlier I wanted to say that because I see the turmoil and the work that, the people who are leading these mods go through just to get the next week. So having said that,
actually, there's a topic I wanted to bring up. Matty, as a, well, I suppose, burgeoning YouTuber and Let's Player, you've branched out into other VN games now, especially recently with Karawa Shoujo and your upcoming video about Lucy. Have you do you see similar trends in these games, or is DDLC unique in its storytelling method from a more visual novel style perspective?
That is a hard question to answer for the reason of long time since I've read a book. I haven't sat down and read a book, and the visual novels are reminding me why I really enjoyed reading books. Because unique quality that I find in each of these visual novels. Kato Shoujo is a really fucking bizarre take on what is just a real simple dating simulator. Because they approached it from such a sideways angle, it kind of keeps you off balance, and it's lovely. Club, of course, is that punch right in the taint that you can't escape. Lucy was a really difficult to play, and then snapped me in half, and then I finished all the endings, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever read. Because of the brilliance of the way they twisted the story. And unfortunately, they twisted at the end. I don't know how I don't have any clue how they could have done it any other way, but it made it, the beginning, very slice of life, very kind of dull. But then once you get to the end and you unlock the secret, again, it took me 6 hours to play it the first time. After a week trying to play through the second time because I just break down. All that slice of life and throwaway that I was discarding, all of it is so that it's, to answer your question, I think that the medium of visual novels has such, not movies where you're the silent audience being led by the nose. It's not a book where you're the silent audience being led by the nose. There's a few choices. There's a lot of different endings. For some reason, they hide some of them. I haven't figured that out yet. But because of the nature of the simple cues that are given with the sprites and the backgrounds, it's a unique medium. A little bit of creative writing really seems to go a lot farther, in my opinion, than in a book or even a movie medium. with $10,000 million worth of explosions going on. Greater experience in visual novels emotionally than I've had in any book or in any movie. Really, really books and movies that I, would marry if they were people. The visual novels that I've played continuously surprise me. That was a very, very long answer. Sorry.
That's okay. I like hearing the rambling.
I have a question. What is your favorite VN that is not DDLC? That you played?
Right now, it's Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For. Totally worth the $10 on Steam. Wish I was getting a kickback the amount of times I say that.
Also,
play through it blind, push through, get through, and then you get find the spoilers, find all the get all the achievements, all the endings, and it's fucking brilliant. I haven't finished Kato Soju, so I can't really comment on that yet, but I really enjoyed Kato Soju, what I've done so far. I've got a lot more to say about actually talk about a dating sim. I've noticed, and again, Gaijin, very new, total noob. There's 3 types of dating sims. There's the you chase, you catch her at the end, and then it ends. There's the you get her early, and then you deal with all of the bullshit throughout. And then there's a lot of chasing, you get her, and then at some point, it's going to end after dealing with the things that happen after entering the relationship. Finding that I like least, chase, you get her, it ends. The first path I ran was the Hanaka path. I did not enjoy it as much as I should have, and I'm so fucking pissed off at 4-Leaf Studio for not having mods, because there is so much unexplored in that.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think
there's no Karawa Shoujo mods, is there?
Yeah, because technically prohibited.
Forbade it, yeah.
It's specifically forbidden, yeah.
Wow.
To be honest, Katawa Shoujo would be also pretty good with a modification. I just wish the corporation who made it did what Team Salvado did, and she can make a mod, but you cannot cash it in for money. Simple as that.
I don't know why.
Even if they said, if they turned around and said, listen, there's some really good fan fiction. We approve these fan fictions to be made into mods, because there's such the catalog of fan fiction. If you go to their not just the Reddit, but if you go to the Kato Soju forum, if you Google Kato Soju forum, they've got this website that I think there's 8 or 10 people active on it, and that's it in the world. But I'll post a Kato Soju friends with Kato Soju sprites on it, and it'll get a week or even a day, and I'll be like, there's a lot of lurkers out here, and there's so much fan fiction that's really, really good. Odds. I don't know why they went the way they went. I hope that they...
It is very strange considering where it came from. Is very
for it.
Derivative and open in that sense. I mean, this was literally... You can't say that. It's true. It's a 4chan game.
4chan. What is a 4chan?
Think Reddit with you're gonna get knifed at some point.
Yeah. Reddit, but way more ghetto. Way more ghetto.
Reddit Dark Web Edition.
But basically, yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about
it's very unfiltered, unlike Reddit.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I was just going to add to what you were saying about Kato Shoujo modding. I can sort of understand why they would. I don't know if they've given an official reason or anything why they're not allowing mods, but I can sort of understand if they want the whole subject of disability to be handled in a in a respectful manner, in a way that's that treats disabled people with dignity or what have you. I can sort of understand some of seeing some of the content that's come out for like DDLC mods, like we've had like harem mods like Brand New Day or like I mean I can just sort of imagine that the people, the makers of at Forley Studios, makers of Kato Shoujo, I can imagine they might not want their property used in that way if they allow modding. I mean, that's just me, playing devil's advocate there. Like I can sort of understand that.
I totally know where you're coming from. There's, if you look at the Doki Doki Literature Club mod catalog, there's a lot of chaff in there. But at the same time, there's some brilliance. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
understand that maybe they didn't want to take that risk, but I think that, in my humble opinion, absolute wrong choice. Because even if they got 99% agreed with the use of the characters, that 1% would have been worth it, because that cream would rise straight to the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It and what we suggested earlier could be a good compromise. Like if they, pick out the they hand picks some fan fiction or fan fiction writers that and say, okay, these people get it, so make those into mods. That could be a good compromise.
Yeah.
With 4chan is most of it's broken up since they put out Kato Shoujo, so hunting down to get consensus, But then again, maybe on the 10-year anniversary, but anyway, because it's due.
Mm-hmm. Also,
I've got a little roundtable question for you, if you don't mind. Has anyone played War of Ashird, or as it's known today, Bloody Chronicles: New Cycle of Death?
Nope, never heard of it.
It was a lot of words.
It was a lot of words.
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Too much for the poor gaijin. For those that don't know, when it was still called War of Ashird, this was the game that Satchley was generating art for after DDLC. And I quite like the styles I was seeing, but I have to say currently I don't actually know if that art is still in here, because I'm looking at the actual store page and it's not called War of Ashird anymore. It's now just called Bloody Chronicles: New Cycle of Death. I'll give me a second here, I'll put it up on the stream if I can.
Talk about 4chan again, because I think that's their subtitle.
I hope we don't get copy strike for this.
A copy strike, yeah, better watch out.
Yeah, well, YouTube. Anyone can copy strike anything just because of a property that's shown for a second.
It does look like Satchley's still the character artist, because I can recognize the screenshots here. So none of you have actually played that.
No.
Is it worth a play?
It's currently in early access. I haven't touched it myself, but I'm considering it because the style of the art looks really nice, and it does seem like it does a lot more. And most of the reviews, as you can see, are positive. So let's have a look at the
how much does it cost?
Reviews here. It is currently $23. It's 20% off. Normal price $28. That's in Australian dollars, so probably looking at $19.99 as the American price. It's been described as a murder mystery / thriller visual novel, so definitely dealing in different kind of conflicts.
Kind of reminds me a bit of Danganronpa.
Yeah, seems to be a little bit more action oriented, I suppose. And yeah, it seems to be people really like it. There's a few reviews. One of them here says music is decent, UI is well designed, but it really suffers from poor writing, which I feel like some of it's subjective, but maybe this guy has some truth to it, who knows. Let me
What's
see
next review?
the trailer here. I'll play that as well, but without sound.
Well,
Oops.
there goes our copyright.
I can't do that. Hey, this is just a trailer for an indie game. I very much doubt it'll get copyrighted. Anyway, I'll let that play. So, yeah, might be worth a shot. Seems to be the developers are more Japanese. This is very much a more standard-ish looking experience, but just because you were into DDLC and if you really like the art, then possibly this is worth checking out to get that sort of same vibe.
What about the National Park Girls mod?
That
not
is
that mod. It's a game.
the game. Yeah, that's also another one that's probably worth checking out. I'll bring that one up on the screen as well here. Has anyone touched that one?
Nope.
It's only $7.50 for Australian viewers, probably $5 for US. Again, very positive. Actually, 100% positive. Everyone likes this so far, apparently.
Woo! And everyone in the Discord was like,
Yeah, as everyone can see from the screenshots, this is a very pretty game in terms of CG and background art. And again,
I remember we were talking about this in the DDMC Discord, and everyone had like something to say about it.
And it does seem to deal with a bit of interesting tones here and then. Very unique looking characters. So again, maybe worth checking out. Really should see what other, just as a comparison, I thought it was interesting to see if other visual novels that have some relation to DDLC sort of seem the same or not. You can see the character on the screen currently has a very obvious tones there to Hanaka because of the hair color. It looks pretty much exactly the same.
Okay, I can possibly guess the developer, knowing it's actually made DDLC and it got popular, was like, hey, Essentially, make the tone of this character like make the character like this, but then make her tone look like Monica.
Yeah, and
everyone just falls silent, like.
Yeah, I'm just reading.
Sorry, I was looking at her for those pants. Sorry.
Yeah,
we were all mesmerized by the pretty girls.
Yeah, we got mesmerized. It says this game does have full English voice acting, so that's something very different. To
people were talking about the voice acting.
And that was something we covered not too long ago about DDLC having full voice acting and what that would be like, or if a mod did, which. Yeah, absolutely. It's something we would love to see. It's something that needs to be, it's expensive. Someone's gotta pay for it. No one has the time to do full-on voice acting for free. So, specific stuff there that needs to be addressed. Anyway,
also,
yeah,
to address a minor elephant in the room, you all said Katawa Shogo wrong.
No,
because I've heard like 17 different ways of saying it, and everybody who corrects me has a different way of saying it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's no specific meaning.
How do you say it?
Katawa Shogo.
You sure? Because
no, that's definitely wrong.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, in Japanese, I think you're supposed to put the emphasis on the first syllable. So it would be Karawa.
These words when I lived in Okinawa, and I knew enough Japanese to order my lunch, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Thought it was.
You couldn't even ask for the public bathroom?
No, I was fucked. Just drink it, because you're fucked. You're not asking. But I thought it was Karawa Shoujo.
Yeah, that's it. Because that's the literal 6 more translations.
K is the G. Shoujo. But I've been told that it makes people's skin crawl when I say it that way, so who knows?
Yes, because I'm used to, everyone in Mexico always calls it Katawa Shogo.
Oh, the way the Mexicans are pronouncing Japanese, I would definitely default to that.
Katawa Shogo. That's what they say. Katawa Shogo.
So No, but shoujo is a very common word used to. No. Now
Yeah,
you just
they
making
use
my
the
ears.
word shoulder to spank people.
You're just making my ears bleed now. That's a very common word.
Just call it KS.
Yeah, just call it
There.
Yeah,
KS.
that's probably
Yeah,
kill.
be a filthy gaijin and do it incorrectly. At least that way you
Wait.
save yourself
Wait a minute.
bit of shame.
Blake, what are you doing here?
All right. Well, that was your once in a lifetime product placement for a couple of games that aren't DDLC, but maybe worth checking out. In terms of releases, since we're just about wrapping up here, what's new? What's interesting? What's coming up as DDLC mods, which is what we're here about. In the end,
I need to pull up the freaking mod asset thing.
need to bring up the submissions list, I think.
3 times a day, I ask Mattercrafter when is Outcast coming out.
Let me see.
We're still waiting for Switcheroo to release. We just had the
Demo 2 released by me, but
yeah, there was a bit of a stir. There's another demo out.
Rumor has it that Kronos has a demo coming out soon. You know, Doki Doki Rewind Replay.
Yeah, that's right. We're waiting for.
Wait, which rewind? Because there's like 2 rewind mods now, and I'm confused.
The Kronos is one.
The rewinds, the better one.
Because I swear to God,
Let's just be nepotistic and let's just say it's the better one. There you go.
the better rewind.
Yeah,
Doki Doki rewind.
Yeah, the better rewind mod.
It's the one that has the massive flow chart for
yeah, the one with the flow chart of Doom. That's right.
Yeah.
Or you mean the one that has the robot guy as is in the icon?
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, I'm looking at the mod submission list, and there's not many crazy interesting ones, except for one which I will mention: DDLC Kanashimi. This is a developing project by Kiseki Wupa, and the description here is that the mod focuses on the main character where he suffers from depression and schizophrenia. So interesting turn of events. The main character is the one with all the problems. So that might be an interesting take on the situation. It's the girls trying to fix the character.
For me, the one that I find interesting is like Amorpha T, because that sounds a bit Italian, and I love Italy. Yeah, possibly because I'm a Ferrari and Lamborghini guy, and I literally have a Ferrari outside of my house.
Okay, this looks like it's just a fix act.
It's like
one
pretty much
mod.
like Back to the Future. Back to the Future.
Yeah, this is just let's replay Act 1 and do it correctly kind of mod. Which
I just found like the title like interesting. Like it sounds Italian.
I mean, it could be good. We haven't had a good one that keeps everyone happy in terms of that sort of stuff, but it's got a heavy anchor there to fix, which is the Act 1 syndrome. How do you do that content interestingly is the problem there. We've talked about that quite a few times.
What is the cure for Act 1 syndrome?
You don't do Act 1. That's the cure.
Have the mod start at the beginning of the mod.
I thought you would have taken antibiotics for it.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I am still noob enough, and there's a lot of us out there that enjoy it. For example, if it's a harem mod, I'm going to play Act 1, and I'm going to burn through everything that's not that particular doki.
That's
Especially
I guess
if
that's
something
possible.
if there's a Monica path. Fuck yeah! I want to see what you made in Act 1 for those cutscenes.
I mean, as long as it's different.
As long as it's different.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm noob enough. I discovered this November of 2018, so I'm less than 6 months away from visual novels. So if I'm gonna play something, I'm gonna but I'm going to probably burn through portions of it. But I'm still going to do it because there's so much that was impactful the first time I played Doki Doki Literature Club that's going to put me back in the right frame of mind. Mod is properly going to step off at Act 2. If your mod is not going to step off from Act 2, then totally recommend me skip Act 1 or don't allow me to play it at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of mods out there which specifically say, oh, by the way, you should skip Act 1. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but there's a few which literally have a button that says, oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be, if you want to start from the beginning, you can play Act 1, otherwise, here, skip.
Right. I'd even go farther in saying, listen, if your Act 2 is not going to benefit from Act 1, don't give the player the option.
That's right. Because there's nothing you can gain from that.
Yeah, like unless you're using it.
You're going to put them in the wrong mindset for your mod. Unless your mod rewrites Act 1 to put them in the right mindset for your Act 2. Because otherwise they're going to go in with the wrong mindset, and then they're going to be it's a hump they have to get over, or they're going to quit to be able to appreciate the work you've done.
Yeah, I was going to add in my own mod, True Literature Club, which you played, Matty. You said that you would because in the current version that I have of the mod there, you have the option of skipping Act 1 and going straight to going straight to the beginning of the mod, or you can play through Act 1. And you said that I should leave out the option to play Act 1. I should just have automatically skip it. I think sorry, go ahead.
You're here, so I have absolutely no problem dropping your pants and spanking your ass about this.
Matty's out here spanking everyone's butts.
Okay.
It's
It's
not
not.
the club. The TLC mod, or if you're a modder, I'm gonna Tormuse. You are fucking brilliant with the way that you approach Yuri and Natsuki in that mod. You basically said, you know what, I'm gonna take me for these characters, and I'm going to completely fucking rewrite the characters, and you justify every second of it, and it's just brilliant. And I have a friend who wants to be a writer, and I made him play Doki Doki Literature Club, and then made him play True Literature Club and Natsuki, so that he could see. First of all, he could see the way that Doki Doki Literature Club twists the story, and then he could see the way that you took that story and made it your own, and it's bulletproof. It's fucking great. However, comma, I really like saying, by the way, however, comma, Doki Doki Literature Club Act 1 sets you up as a dating simulator. There's a lot of implied sexual tension, especially with Yuri. There's a lot of hinting towards getting that you prefer to be your girlfriend. Your mod doesn't do that. And so what it does is it put me in the wrong mindset for it. I was still, because I'm really fucking smart, I was able to really appreciate what you did with those paths, in spite of the fact that I played Act 1. But I'd highly recommend, if you do nothing else, you finish a project, you pretty much abandon it, you don't want to go back to it, I would recommend you go back and not allow people to play Act 1.
Yeah, it's a topic we've discussed many times. I think 4 or 5 in the course of all these streams. Act 1 syndrome, as we've taken to calling it, can be a really bad situation for a modder. It does turn people off a big way.
Well, I'm going to add to what Matty said. I absolutely get where you're coming from, and maybe I will come back to the mod someday and edit that stuff out. If I feel motivated to do it, but yeah, I can totally understand where you're coming from, and I guess maybe I didn't anticipate the degree of backlash to my choice. Like I made deliberate choices to subvert audience expectations. Like that was that was kind of my thing in when I was making True Literature Club. I wanted like deliberately set up some expectations, then turn them on their heads. And like part of that was sort of to take away the whole like dating simulator aspect of it, and just tell a story. And so I get where you're coming from. Like maybe what am I trying to say here? It's made me question how much I should be trying to subvert audience expectations, or how much if I should try to live up to them, to I don't know, I don't want to say to make the story more popular, to make it more satisfying for the audience. Like, I don't know. I mean, like for me, like I kind of like being, you know, I guess being surprised by you know, but sorry, I guess that's just how that's how it factors into my writing, because I like having stories with surprising twists or whatever. So that's how I did my writing. And
surprising twists are great. Subversion of audience expectation is fucking admirable. If you can do that, brilliant. Kudos to you. However, the payoff to the audience, like you started to lean towards, has to be satisfactory to the audience. So if you're going to, in a dating simulator with somebody like
was
turned off by, I didn't like her at all. I found things about her that I was like, you know what, I could see some greatness in this character. You have to substitute what you're taking away with something that you're going to blow my mind with different expectations, but then what are you going to leave me with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's coming from a very critical audience member, which is really what I am. I am supportive and most critical audience member for anybody making a mod. Little things. If you tell me that Natsuki brought candy bars and then later you left in that there were cupcakes, I'm going to fucking remember that, and it's going to stick in my craw. So that little thing is going to be a problem for me. But at the same time, if you're able, something small, and twist it on me where I was like, oh, I almost threw that away and that was great. Or if you're able to expectations, knock them down, just replace them with something. Because if you don't, I expected something, I was knocked down, but now what do I have at the end? So that's really a critical key, is what do you want your audience member leaving? Make sure that you gave them everything and that it's satisfactory to what you took away.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Definitely something to look up to. I mean, this is good information for anyone making.
I'm not just pretty. I'm not just really good looking. I mean, there's a lot more to me here.
I would love to see a mod where it claims to be an Act 1 rewrite, but then it just turns everything completely on its head in like 2 minutes in. And then just goes completely off the rails from there on. I think that would be a nice subversion of expectations there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even with me with At One syndrome, I'm like highly questioning my own mod at that point. Like I really
Well, that's why I sort of stopped for a bit, because that was originally what DDLC Plus was going to retread as well, and to an extent, I think I'll still do that. But there's going to be a point to it that's going to be worth it in some way. I don't want people to sort of go, oh, well, this is exactly the same shit, so I'm not going to bother. No,
one of the greatest movies out there is Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is he repeats the day over and over and over and over and over again, but it's not what the hell's going on here. It's really fucking captivating. It's a great movie because of the way they repeat every day.
Wait, what's Groundhog Day?
I presume the original. Personally,
Remake? Holy shit.
well, not really a remake, but I will tell you, if you haven't played, again, this is going a bit off topic, but if you don't hate Tom Cruise, then there's a movie called Edge of Tomorrow, which is
brilliant film. Oh my god, brilliant film.
I love that show.
Man, you guys are making me feel too young.
That's a good hour and a half.
I hate Tom Cruise, and that is one of my top. Edge of Tomorrow is brilliant.
Yeah, it's part mech, part aliens, and obviously has that Groundhog Day feel to it, and it's funny in
he
a
does
lot
a
of
great job because he is. If you step, that's the thing that a lot of visual novels lose me at is you step into the main character's shoes and you're like, what the hell's going on? Edge of Tomorrow is a great example of if you were in his shoes, he would be doing exactly what you did. So he's totally relatable.
Mm. And the way that characters end up taking advantage of what is happening is fantastic. I mean, I thought for a bit that it takes too long to figure it out in the beginning, but looking back at it, I would probably not believe that this is happening to me for the first like 5 or 6 times as well. So it's good.
The beautiful
good
thing about that movie is they cut. You don't know how much time has actually passed.
It doesn't.
Like,
it implies in some cases it's like, yeah, we've been here for like 100 times.
I mean, 100 would be, I think, really. I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it, but I want to think that it's been years.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's probably true. There's a section which does seem to sort of really go off the rails with the Groundhog Day stuff, which I have to say that's like one of the more memorable motifs from TV shows. There's also an episode of Stargate, a really old show with what's his name, the guy that plays MacGyver as well. Fuck, what's his name? I can't remember now. There's an episode of Stargate which also deals in Groundhog Day stuff, and it just goes completely off the rails, and I love it. Even though you're doing the exact same day with the exact same people, but it works out completely different. Until obviously the Groundhog Day is over, and then the movie finally hits a finale. Or the TV show, or whatever media you're consuming at the time, which I suppose Rewind Replay is gonna have some of that, which is something I'm excited to see.
The logo cut out or something because I can't hear him.
No, I'm still here. As far as the stream is concerned, I'm still here.
You can hear him?
I can hear him.
Maybe you muted me on accident. Anyway, that's all good.
Maybe he muted you on purpose. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe muted on purpose. Who knows?
I don't even have him muted. I'm not even sure. I think something's wrong.
Well, whatever the case, I think it's about time we wrap up the show. We've been going for an hour and a half now, and I'm sure people have other things to do rather than sit around and listen to us ramble about movies now, which is where we ended up somehow.
I hope so.
To wrap up the show, obviously we do our usual plugging. So let's start with our guest. What do you do? Where do you do it? And what platforms would you like to let us know about, please?
Is that me?
Yes.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. This was very cool. Very last minute, but very cool. I'm glad that despite the technical hiccups, everything worked out. Myself, so I just hope that I sound as awesome as I know I do.
Yes, you do.
So I put 2 links in the one is the to-do list, which is a lot of visual novels that have all been recommended to me. If anybody says yeah you got to play that one next, or if there's something not on that list, feel free to let me know. Shoot me a message and let me know. I will definitely add it to my list, and the more people recommend something, it moves towards the top. The second thing, we talked about Purist Mod. Purist Mod was my very first voiced one. I fucking cried like a little baby making that video. So if you so you want to watch that, cool. If you like the way I do stuff, then definitely recommend, because that's how it ends up as a video. Other than that, I'm doing a bunch of backgrounds for a couple of visual novels, finished to I'm going to say this wrong, NaNoWriMo.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Fast as I could, so to make sure that I didn't say it terrible. And that was a lot of fun working with teams. I really like being able to help out as I can, help you out in any way. I got a kind of a crunch list going on right now, so it may be a little while. As long as you don't have Dyer and Tormuse, tomorrow we'll get together and definitely bust yours out.
Awesome.
Nice. All right.
Quick question: how short is a short mod? That's a good question. If it's a couple hours, I'd consider it a short mod. What I'm going to play is a couple hours. That's a short mod. If I can finish it in a day, I'd even consider it. Well, maybe not, because I tend to consume things. So for me, a day is I'm going to play it until it's done and then go to bed.
It's very subjective because
so yeah, if it's less than
people do tend to sort of say, "Oh yeah, it was short because I played it 8 hours straight."
I guess speaking for
what
myself,
makes it short for me is
sorry.
A full visual novel. I'm going to put out. God, I got to make these shorter because they take so long. A 20-minute video. I'm trying to get them down 10 to 15 minutes, and I think Lucy is going to be about 16 minutes. Mod would be if I can bust it out in 4 or 5 minutes and really encompass the best parts of it. That's a short mod. Video of it is 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, what about the rest of you? What's next on the Mod Night show, Hanaka, that's coming up?
So it might be either tomorrow, I think we're like at the very end of We Are the Literature Club 2. I might do an extra Mod Night tomorrow if my dad doesn't force me out of the house to do shopping again. Or it will be next week, but I will be starting to make a new poll for Mod Night, and I'll be seeing what mods to add in that are either new release and all that. That's stuff that I'll feel comfortable with, like no exit music, because that will make me depressed as hell for the rest of the evening.
Nice. What about you, Tormuse? What are you planning to play for now that you've finished Purist mod? And obviously, you did mention you're playing Salvation. Planning to wrap that up, or are we picking up something else?
Yeah. It's well, I'm told that Salvation isn't terribly long, so I'm hoping to have that finished. Maybe I'll have time for something else. I don't know. Does anyone have a recommendation?
Definitely not my mod.
I personally don't have any recommendations for you because I don't play anything.
Torm, I do have a recommendation.
Oh?
Play Logos' mod.
Oh god, shut up.
Come on, it can't be that bad compared to mine.
I was going to say I should probably pick something else that's on the awards list, like Fruits of the Literature Club. Since
that is,
got 3 awards.
yes, absolutely.
Is that done yet? Is that completed? Because I'm not going to play it till it's complete.
Actually, that's
as 4 out of 5 chapters.
Yeah, so no.
Yeah, didn't chapter 4 come out just a few weeks after we aired with Eagle?
It came out the same day.
Yeah. That's Eagle's mod. Eagle was a guest on our show couple episodes ago, so you should definitely check that out if you want to know more about Fruits of the Literature Club, or go and play it yourself. The link is in Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might be worth.
Either way, before we do go, we do have a public service announcement to do. Daily reminder. Yes. Daily reminder. Lugoka's cutie.
That's not a public service announcement at all.
It is.
As for me, obviously I don't play anything, but we have some general DDMC updates, which is that we recently did a big cleanup on suggestions, and there's a very long-winded announcement about those suggestions. You can go and read that on our server, and We have more coming in the future. We're working very hard to make some big changes going forward. Look forward to seeing that in the coming probably weeks, because it does take us a while to get through, and obviously there's more suggestions to implement or discuss, as well as a bunch of rule changes. We've also got plans to revitalize the committee. If you want to be a committee member and improve the server and look after the members in it, that is definitely something you should sign up for.
Which will be coming in a couple of weeks, depending when we are finally ready.
That's it. It's a long-winded process that does take us a while because we want to make sure we get it right. And that's it. That's the show. Thank you all very much for coming. It's been a good turnout today. If anyone would like to see the rest of the show because they missed most of it, it will be posted on YouTube as usual. You can have a look on the playlist there. I also uploaded the recent episode with Dinobot. That's now available. If you've missed that, feel free to go check it out. We've had a bit of a spree of guests lately, so definitely worth checking out. There's some interesting unique insights there, as well as today with MattyD, which thank you for coming on the show on such a short notice, and hopefully
we're happy to be here.
That's right, and we hope to have you back someday.
Anytime, brother.
And that's it. I shall leave you with the rest of the Katana Zero soundtrack that you've been listening to this whole time. I might actually be playing that on stream later today, so if you want to tune in for that, feel free. Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. The next episode will air on the 11th or 12th of May 2019 at the same usual 8 o'clock AEST time frame or 10 o'clock UTC. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you next time.
Are we celebrating Cinco de Mayo next stream?
Probably not.
Sure, why not?
Aww. Come on!
No. Goodbye, everyone.
Look, it's a big me.
Great.